Aviation companies spend a lot of money on trade shows. There's booth space, there's travel, there's hotels, there's printed materials, there's giveaways, there's shipping, there's staff time, there's sponsorships, there's client dinners. And after all that, too many companies come home with only a vague answer to the most important question. Was it worth it? Usually the answer sounds something like, we had some good conversations, or traffic seemed pretty good. A lot of people stopped by, or we got our name out there. That may be true, but it's not the same as having a measurable return on investment. In this video, I want to talk about how aviation companies can approach trade shows more strategically before, during, and after the event, so that the investment has a much better chance of turning into relationships, opportunities, and sales. Trade shows are not the strategy. I'm going to repeat that because I've heard many times, our strategy is trade shows. Trade shows are not the strategy. The first mistake is treating the trade show itself as the strategy. It's not. The trade show is a venue. It's a concentration of prospects, customers, partners, competitors, media, and industry conversations, and that makes it valuable. But simply being there does not automatically create results. Maybe it did 10 years ago, but certainly now aviation trade shows are more difficult, more competitive, more expensive. And aviation trade shows are especially tempting because so many companies build their entire marketing year around them, and for good reason. They can be the best places to see a large number of prospects in one place. But the companies that get the best return usually do not just show up. They know what they're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to launch something new or heat up sales for an existing product or service, or find strategic partners, or meet investors, or strengthen customer relationships, recruit employees or team members, gather competitive intelligence? Those are all different goals, and different goals require different plans. Start with the real objective. Before you decide on your booth size, your signage, your giveaways, your social media posts, or your sponsorships, define the objective. Here's some examples of weak objectives. We want more visibility. A stronger version is we want to meet with 10 specific operators who fit our ideal customer profile. Stronger than that is we know who those specific operators are, and we know the people, the specific people that are decision makers that we want to meet with. Or here's another example. We want to schedule 6 demos with decision makers who have a defined need in the next 12 months. Or we want to reconnect with our existing customers, ask for referrals, and identify expansion opportunities. Those are all very different objectives. So we advise our clients to use a very practical filter for new prospects and sales. If you attract the right people, get them involved with your product, and get permission to contact them later. If that's your objective as new sales, that's a pretty good recipe for it. And it sounds pretty simple, but it's not that easy. It forces you to ask, who are the right people? Why do they care? What would make them take the next step? What would make the conversation useful for them? What would follow-up look like that they would actually welcome or find valuable? This is where a lot of companies get lazy. They think the booth is the attraction. Usually, it isn't. The attraction is having a relevant reason to have a conversation with you. The 90-day mindset. We like to think of any marketing campaign in a 90-day bracket. That gives us a good chunk of time to develop a relationship or move the football forward. The next issue is timing. So a lot of companies begin trade show planning when the deadline starts to hurt. That's too late. At least 90 days before the show, you should already be researching whether the event is the right fit, reviewing the attendee demographics, identifying your top desired customers, watching competitors, looking for partner opportunities, and planning your campaign. This is also when you should be asking, who do we most want to meet? Who do we most want to avoid being surprised by? What are competitors likely to be saying about our product or service? What objections are prospects going to bring? And what proof do we need to have ready? The companies that do this well often arrive with momentum and confidence already built. Their prospects have already heard from them. They know they'll be there. Their partners have reasons to connect. Their team members know what to say. Their calendar is not empty. It's a very different position than just standing in a booth hoping the right person wanders by. The booth is not enough. So at about 60 days out, the question becomes more operational. Are you exhibiting or floating? Have you set a measurable objective? Are press releases or product announcements appropriate? Are you hosting an event? Do you need printed invitations? What is the reason that people should visit your booth? What happens after they do? What do they get? So ABCI warns our clients not to exhibit at shows that you can't do well and you can't afford to follow up properly. That's worth taking seriously. A weak trade show appearance can be worse than no appearance at all. If your booth looks underprepared, if your team can't answer questions, if your materials are vague, if your follow-up is slow or generic, the market learned something about you, but it's not the thing that you wanted them to learn. So a smaller, better planned presence can outperform a bigger, sloppy one. Sometimes floating the show, setting meetings, attending sessions, and holding private conversations is a better use of resources than exhibiting without a serious plan. During the show, keep your eyes up. During the show, the goal is not to hide behind your table, stare at your phone, and wait for people to come to you. The goal is to be fully present, meeting with existing customers, visiting with partners, attending sessions, taking pictures and video, capturing notes, having real conversations, asking better questions, and looking for next year's opportunities. We like to have 2 people behind the booth in a trade show so they can converse with one another, at least if nobody else is around. And that's a lot more of an approachable position than having one person behind the booth with their face in their phone, not looking up, not looking approachable. So you want to have your eyes up when you're on the show floor. Take notes with your voice memo feature on your phone if you'd like. Otherwise, keep your phone in your pocket. This matters because many important trade show moments are not formal. They happen in the aisle or after a panel discussion or at a customer's booth or at breakfast or during a quick introduction from a partner. If your team is not clear on what the mission is, which is to network and meet people, then those moments can be missed. The real ROI happens after the show. Now comes the part that many people neglect, the first business day after the show. This is where discipline really matters, every scrap of discipline you have, because everyone is tired, inboxes are full, normal work is piled up, and it's really easy to tell yourself, we'll get to those leads later. But later is dangerous. So the most important of the show is not finished when you return. You still need to translate those trade show leads into real relationships through postal mail, email, and phone follow-up. And this is where you separate hot prospects from warm prospects. Hot prospects should go directly into the sales process with the notes that you captured at the event. Warm prospects can go into your marketing holding pattern so that they are hearing from you consistently until they're ready to buy. So that distinction matters. Not everyone who you have a conversation with at a trade show is ready to buy, but that doesn't mean that that conversation was worthless. It just means that they need useful, consistent, relevant follow-up. And the problem is that many companies treat those warm leads as failures or just let them fall through the cracks. That's a mistake. The final step is the after-action report. 90 to 180 days after the show, you should be able to answer, how many hot and warm leads did we acquire? How many of those people actually made a purchase from us? How many of them are still in our sales cycle or our sales pipeline? For the ones that are no longer active, was the issue money, authority, or need? Should we attend the show again? Should we exhibit? Should we sponsor? Should we speak? Should we float? Or should we skip it next year? What should we do differently? This is exactly the kind of report your team needs in order to have a relevant discussion and a useful discussion after the show. And that's how your trade show campaigns improve year over year. Without the report, every year becomes a fresh guess. With the report, your trade show strategy gets smarter. So the real question is not whether aviation trade shows are worth it. It's whether your company has a system to make them worth it. That system includes clear objectives, the right prospects, pre-show outreach, a prepared team, useful booth conversations, strong note-taking, fast follow-up, a marketing holding pattern, and an after-action report. That's what turns a trade show from an expensive appearance into a measurable business development opportunity.